What is new, my Mystic Crew? So here we are in round 3. We are currently 2-0, so is our opponent. We're up against David here playing Vanquish Souls. So I'll go ahead and normal summon the one that allows me to search for another Traptrix monster, and we get met with Ash. Cool, okay. So I spec out Sarah, and, I link in Sarah, then activate Arachnocanthia to spec itself. And because the Traptrix monster effect's activated, Sarah will now activate to set a trap card directly from the deck. So we go with Holoteo. We give the deck a little shuffle, as you do, then activate Holoteo by ditching the trap card to spec itself. And now because the trap card's activated, Sarah will now activate to spec out a Traptrix monster. So we go ahead and spec out the Dionea, and the Dionea will reset the Gravedigger's trap hole for us. So there we go, that is all reset, lovely. And then from here, we are going to overlay, we're having a little look what we want to overlay into. But from here, we decide to go into this one. We detach to add a level 4 back from the grave. Sorry, specs back from the grave, I'm sure. And we met with Ghost Spell. Not one we was expecting to see, but pretty cool nonetheless. So from here, I was thinking about going into the link 2, and that's what we do. So we link 2 into Traptrix C, we set a card and pass, and during the end phase, Traptrix C will now activate to spec back a Traptrix monster in defense mode. So again, I was just double checking what they did when they're special summoned, and just decide on Arachnocanthia. So we passed turn there. Not the best board, but hopefully it's enough to control, because that is the name of the game. So he goes ahead and activates this spell card. This is the equip card, which is great. He equips it to one of our monsters, and basically all that means is he can destroy it or deattach it, whatever it is, to add a level 5 or lower fire warrior. So he grabs the Vanquish Soul fire one. He goes ahead and specs out Fenrir. He goes to activate the Fenrir effect, and we impound that. He then activates Pot of Prosperity. I honestly thought initially he activated that in the imperm column, but he didn't. So he did it to the side. Now, from here, he banishes 6 to show 6, and yeah. So let's see what he gets. Pot, and 4 Vanquish Souls, and a Small World. So fantastic draw for him, whichever one he picks. And he decides to go with one of the Vanquish Souls names. Unfortunately, that's all you can get out of me is Vanquish Soul, because I do not know their names. I don't know what they're called. But he normal summons this one. Then from here, David does what David does. He is a very good and very competent player. This allows him to search for another Vanquish Soul. Yeah, so, yeah. He's just checking what my cards do, and they have 0 interaction. None of my monsters have any effects whatsoever to do anything. When he goes into this Link monster, I'd love to actually do something, but my Gravedigger's trap hole ain't going to do nothing at this stage. He gets another monster out, whether that's a normal summon or special summon, honestly can't remember. I don't really understand this deck all that well. It is still got a bit of a blind spot on me, but then I suppose it is still a very new deck, and only David plays it at our locals, so unless you get paired up against David and he's running it this week, you're not going to come across it. So he searches a spell card, which is cool. I understand that. Oh, he's got Big Eye in his extra deck. Never realised that. From here, David activates the spell card. He does tell me what all of these do, but you got to bear in mind, these were recorded on Sunday. He changes his monster to defense, and can flip one of my cards face down. So he flips my Xyz monster. Yeah, so like I was saying, these are all recorded on Sunday. It's now Wednesday. Yeah, we've had 3 days, 3 nights. I don't remember what I had for breakfast, let alone what I did 3 days ago. So I do apologise if some of these aren't that great. But we go ahead and activate the Gravedigger's Trap Hole when he went to activate a hand effect. which negated them betting for 2,000. And then thanks to our link monster, we can reset it. He then has this other Castillo monster, which is level 4, which he can spec because he controls Fenrir. That's cool. I understand that effect. He then, is it this game he Babuskas us, or is it next game? I can't remember if it's this or next game, but he goes into a Babuska at some point. So he activates his monster on the field effect to reveal a type in his hand, and I think that it makes him lose 500 attack and defense. This is why I asked, like, is it attack and defense, or is it attack or defense? And it has to be both, so therefore you can't target the link monster, so therefore he has to target Arachnocampia. I did ask, is it a permanent, or is it just till the end turn? It is a permanent debuff, which is cool. And there's the Babuska. So, obviously everyone knows what Babuska does in defense, but I could not remember what the hell it does in attack. But basically, you just can't destroy it by battle, is what I can remember. So, yeah, he made Babuska in attack mode. Fantastic. So, from here, he now moves to battle phase. Babuska attacks into the link monster. And I was like, cool. I was waiting for him to attack with Fenrir, and he wasn't sure. He started having a flick through as if he was going to move on to... And then he's like, oh yeah, I've still got Fenrir. So Fenrir attacks into the XEs and takes that out. Out of everything, I'm quite happy about that, because then, yeah, I've still got my monster in hand, which I can go into a Link 4 with. Not Link 4, sorry, an XEs with. And, yeah, there's Zeus. Shit. Okay, so I go ahead and activate Holotea, banishing it to spec back a Traptrix monster. So I go ahead and spec back Sarah. What I'm doing here is purely and simply trying to get him to trigger the Zeus, because I want him to blow up the field before my turn starts, which he does. He takes the bait quite nicely, blows up the field, and now it's our turn. So we draw for turn. We go ahead and summon this one, which allows us to search a Traptrix monster. I want to say this one does. And of course, there's only one option here, which is the Arachnocampia, so I can spec it out and actually make something on the field. We've got that imperm in hand as well, which is always nice. But I do still have a 3k Zeus body on the field. I go ahead and spec out the Arachnocampia. I link off the Arachnocampia into Sarah. There's not really a whole lot we could do, because even though I've baited it out, I then activate our monster's effect, which can bounce a set spell or trap we control and then reset one if we want to. I choose not to, because as you can see, you can tell what I'm about to do here. Sarah then activates to set Holoteo. Holoteo activate, ditching a trap card because it's turn it was set to spec itself. From here, because again, I'm still trying to think, how do I get over Zeus? That is our main priority right now, is how can we get over Zeus? So obviously none of these monsters are going to be strong enough off the bat, so I'm going to have a real good think about what I can do to have a play around to do this. So I go ahead and link into Traptrix P. Like I said, I can never remember its bloody name, so it's just Traptrix P. I detach one to add a Traptrix Traptrix monster from deck to hand. So we go ahead and grab Pudica. It's a shame that we've already normal summoned this turn, but it's always good for follow up. So, because we can't activate the Holotea's other effect this turn, because we've already activated one effect this turn. From here, again, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to get over Zeus. There is nothing I can do, so I have to pass. I do not activate Holotea here. Oh shit, I activated Holotea. I should not have been able to have activated Holotea there, because you cannot activate Holotea's effects both turns. Both effects on one turn. You can't do it. So, yeah, misplay. Call the judge, because that is an illegal activation. 100% illegal activation. Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay. Again, it's my first day on the deck, but still, that is not acceptable. You need to wind that in, so I do apologise. I'll message David in a minute after I've finished recording this and make him aware what happened as well. Because at the end of the day, you got to be held accountable. If you misplay, if you fuck up, own up to it. And at the end of the day, I fucked it up. So I went for a judge call there. I was wondering, like, what am I doing? Because I am actually a judge as well. So for those of you who don't know, so I just went and took a judge call, which was always fun. Then David, on his turn, changed Zeus to attack mode, swung, killed our Sarah, we took 2200, and then made a second fucking Zeus. So, cool. Yeah. I detached one to search. I think he blows up the field here. I can't remember. I guess not. I grab a Pudica. I don't know why. I've got a Pudica in hand. So now I activate Pudica's effect to search for the field spell. So, yeah, so that's what I was remembering. I remember he blew up Zeus. He activated Zeus when I searched. I activate the field spell, so now I have an additional normal summon. But I really don't understand why I searched the Pudica, because I already had the Pudica. So I have no idea what I was thinking. I should have, in theory, grabbed the Dianator for the normal summon to spec back from the grave. Because you think I could normal summon the Pudica, got the field spell, even if Zeus wasn't there for argument's sake, use the additional normal summon to summon the Dianator, which will then spec Sandcast back. I would have been in a much better position, but instead, I was stuck with this shit. Thankfully, my field spell stops my monsters from being destroyed the first time it gets destroyed, so that was great. Then we tribute them for Teardrop. Teardrop then specs out another plant, makes them both level 8, and then I can detach one to tribute a monster on the field. So, bye-bye Zeus. And then he goes up to 3k. He gains 200 for each card tributed, and I swing for 3k. So, as you can see, even though I activated Holotea, it did have zero impact on the game. So, even though I messed up, I made an illegal play, it did not have any impact on the game due to Zeus's effects popping off and blowing up the field. If anything, I actually fucked myself up a little bit more, because I could have activated that Holotea other effect on a different turn when it would have been more beneficial. So David Kaidri's me, and I just decided to swing with the Kaidri. As you can see in my hand, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I've got Parallel Exceed. So I was like, shit, I can't link it off for Sarah, I am stuck with this Kaidri, but I was a fucking idiot. I could have actually done something, because my field spell has a technically a third fucking effect, which is you can tribute a monster you control to spec a Traptrix monster from your grave. So I could have spec'd any of my level 4 or lower Traptrix. From there, linked it off into Sarah, specking the Parallel Exceed. The Parallel Exceed will then activate to spec another copy of itself, go into any of my rank 4s, and that would have been enough attack points for game. Because David is left on 100 life points. He's on 600, but when he activates this, it'd be 100. And I swung for 24. So if I went into any of my level 4s, which are 22 and 25, so if I went into the 25, swung, and then swung with Sarah, that would have been game. Or the 22 and Sarah would have still been game. But instead, idiot here didn't read his card properly. So, woohoo! But yeah, we live and learn. Like I said, week 1 with it. And this is only game 1. We live and learn. But now, David's just popping off. He's doing what his deck does. He's mopping up, he is clearing the field, and we are suffering badly. So then from there, David clears my side of the field, does some more damage, and we take it, and then he links off. Yeah, bear in mind, David's on 100 life points. 100. And then from here, he passes turn. I draw Ricky Concon. Ricky Concon and Pylex in hand. I ain't doing nothing unless I've got a graveyard effect. And of course, I have no graveyard effects. So, yeah, nothing we can do. So I scoop it up and we go to game 2. Okay, so we're back for game 2. So, of course, we did lose game 1 with our opponent only having 100 life points. So, again, I've sided some go second cards. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. As you can see there, I've got Regeki in my hand. That's a go second card, what I sided in. So, I normal summon this dude, which allows me to search for a trap card. I link him off into the Sarah. I don't know why, but I was starting to feel a little bit more confident here. So then I set the Holoteo, activate the Holoteo, ditching the evenly matched, which again is a go second card, but I do main evenly, so yeah, it's a little bit more understandable. Yeah. Then I activate Sarah to spec out a monster. I set a card, activate the monster effect to bounce it to set a different one in a different zone, which then also activates Sarah because now a monster effect's activated by a Traptrix monster. So I set the terrifying Traptrix Trap Hole, which when the turn a special summon monster activates its effect, it destroys it. Negates and destroys. And I thought against Vanquish Soul, that could be beneficial. So, why not? So here now I'm just having a little flick through, see which XZ monster I want to go into. I do think about Refleece here again. You set up more of a defensive control board. But then I thought, I've already got the trap cards on the field. So there's no point setting up the monster which acts as the trap card. So I'll just go for the search. Search out the Arachnoconphia. Have another little flick through the extra deck. Decide there's not really much more I want to do. So I just throw one more card face down. Give the deck shuffle. Give it to David to cut. And then I pass turn there. Keeping the Arachnoconphia for follow-up. David starts off with Pot of Prosperity. And it's all good. We ain't got nothing. We can't stop a Pot of Prosperity. And he's got Ash, Magnum. Yeah, he's got some good cards there. He's got Triple Tactics. He's got Thrust. He's got Ash. He's got a Bestial, and he's got 2 of his effect monsters. So he goes ahead and grabs the Triple Tactics Thrust, which, cool. Then he normal summons a monster. He goes to activate the monster effect. Here I activate Holoteo just to spec it out, which then would obviously trigger Sarah. This was a very premature activation though. I should have really waited until David had special summoned the monster, because then I could have banished the special summon monster with Pudica, or I popped a back row with one of the other Traptrix monsters. They all do something on special summon, and I just got a bit trigger happy, to put it simply. But anyway, I decided to go for the Dionaea because why not? At least I can reset the Holoteo that's in the grave, and keep that resource flood train going. And because obviously the trap card Dionaea was now activated, Sarah now procs, so I can set a trap card. So there's a floodgate trap hole. And again, David gives a deck a little cut, and he carries on with his turn. He activates Thrust. Again, there's nothing we can do. We can't stop Thrust. We can't stop searches. It'd be nice if there was a trap card that did that. Well, I think there is, isn't there? Like Solomon Strike or something, aren't there? So one of the Solomon cards most probably good. But anyway, he searches for this thing, Stake Your Soul, I believe it's called. I could be wrong, but then he activates it, which allows him to search or show a monster and then add one with this same attribute or something. or oh no, he specs it with the same attribute. So I activate the Floodgate Trap Hole. He activates the monster effect to try and bounce it out, I think. I can't remember what it does exactly, but he shows 2 different attributes in hand. We go ahead and activate the trap card that stops his, which negates and destroys his monster effect. And yeah, okay, cool, we've used 2 trap cards to shut down 1 monster, but it's to stop him from actually having those bodies on the field, and it worked. It stopped it. So he goes ahead and links off into this link monster now, and there's not nothing we can do now. All we've got left, what we can activate, is the Gravedigger's Trap Hole. So we just got to wait. He swings into Sarah using his other monster, and we take some damage. But he passes turn. We're pretty confident now because, yeah, he's got his Link monster, he's got that monster, but we've got Regeki. So we just chuck down the Regeki. He activates this thing's effect. I honestly can't remember what it does. I think he gains some life points or inflicts some damage or something. His Link monster's there, so I'm just checking with him that should be gone as well, and he confirmed it is, so he got rid of that. Now it's still our turn. We still have another Holotea face down, so we go ahead and spec out the Arachnocamp field, which is fantastic. Our resource and our bodies on the field are mounting up. We go into this one, we detach 2 to spec 1 from the grave, which was met with a ghost spell. We activate the Gravedigger's Trap Hole, burn in for 2k and negating, and then we decide to spec out this one in defense mode, and then from here we overlay again, I believe, into the okay, so sorry about that. The video just stopped very premature and short again. Reason why this one is because time was actually called. So what happened there was technically my own fault. I went and did a judge call, as you saw earlier, which cost us a minute or 2. I should have been verbal to David when I came back to the table and said, look, we took a judge call, we've got a time extension for X amount of time. However, I didn't, and then time was called there. If I moved to battle phase, even with what I had on the field, I would have done enough damage to have taken game 2, and because David took game 1, we would have actually drew, rather than me taking the loss. But because I didn't verbally confirm we've got that time extension beforehand, I didn't want to be that guy and be like, I'm in a losing situation, I'm using the time extension, because no one likes that guy, to put it simply. If I turned around and said from the get-go, we've got that time extension, then cool, it would have ended in the draw. But we take the loss. It is what it is. Always be crystal clear with how these time extensions work. But at the end of the day, we are still learning. So yeah, so we took a loss on this one, but hey ho, life goes on. You can't win them all. And I actually came second overall on the day. So, no I didn't. I came 5th. I came second last week. Ignore that. I came 5th this week, which I'm happy with.